I guess it's a little bit like tightrope walking. And I suspect that the guy who's walking the tightrope, or the gal who's walking the tightrope, doesn't think about walking the tightrope very much, because once they start to think about it, they'll overthink it. And I wonder whether we overthink a little bit in these conversations too, instead of just trusting ourselves. We've been able to speak in words that describe what's going on inside us since we were about 3 years old. And we don't stop and think about it. We don't try and plan the words. We just open our mouths and the thing we meant to say, more or less, comes out. So maybe the thing that we could do thinking about is not overthinking, oh, okay, so I'm going to go and talk to my mum about what funeral arrangements she would like. So I'm going to start by saying, okay, Mum, I really hope this isn't going to upset you, and I promise it won't take very long. Or, okay, so I have to start like that. And then the next thing I need to say, I've got a kind of list in my head. Now I'm thinking about the tightrope, aren't I? I'm thinking about the conversation. Instead of going in and talking to my mum like she's my mum and I'm her daughter and saying, Mum, there's this thing, you know, it keeps coming round in my head and I'm worrying about it a bit. Can we talk about it? And being one's mother, almost certainly that person will say, oh, I don't like the idea that you're worrying about something. What can I do to help? And then you say, well, actually, it is a thing that you might particularly want to talk about, but I think it could help me a lot if I knew what plans you wanted for your funeral, or if you got really sick and couldn't tell the doctors what you wanted and they asked me what you wanted, crikey, I wouldn't know. You know, could we talk about that sometime? And I think the other thing there is, it's an invitation into a conversation, isn't it? Rather than just going in and thinking, right, I've got to get in, I've got to get to the bottom of it, I've got to sort it all out, and I've got to get out without causing anybody to be distressed, because conversations are collaborative things, and what happens. So, and I guess really a lot of that comes in my second book, Listen, which I'd never intended to write, but came from the feedback from the first book, which was, okay, you've convinced us we need to talk about this stuff. But how on earth do you start those conversations? So the second book isn't really a deathly book, but it is a book about conversations that we feel a bit daunted about getting into, including these ones.